everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. If you're new here, I want to say welcome. I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope you will stay and adventure with us. Those of you who have been around for a while, I want to say thank you for hanging in there with me. My road trip was legit a crazy thing. I brought all of my recording equipment with me, but there was just no time for me to sit and record. So instead of doing videos on the road, I'm gonna go ahead and do some of the recipes I enjoyed on the road with my friends and family and share them with you. And to start off, we're actually gonna start right here in California. Right before I left, in fact, the night before I left, I went ahead and made a coffee cake that Francia, a subscriber here on YouTube, actually pointed me in the direction of. And I had been wanting to use it for a long time, but I just had never found the time. However, since I was going on the road for a very long time, I'm saying a long time, a lot, it was a long time. I knew that I needed to use my sourdough starter, and so I was like, oh, this recipe uses a discard sourdough. And so I'm like, why not? Let's try it out. Oh my word, my mind was blown. This recipe is so delicious. What I left here got devoured, and what I brought with us got devoured. So without further ado, let's do this fantastic sourdough coffee cake with the cinnamon streusel topping. Ready? Let's go. All right, and as per the usual, I have everything measured out for you, so I'm just gonna start talking about what I'm doing and then get this all ready to go. If you do not have a stand mixer, you can use a hand mixer for this, or you can mix it by hand. You know, stand mixer is quite easy, so I'm gonna use it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna put in our, and I'm gonna double this recipe, that's how delicious it is. So this is gonna be a cup of butter, and it's been softening, probably sitting on the counter for about 2 hours prior to me making this recipe. And I'm gonna go ahead and give that a quick mix, just to make sure that it is indeed soft, and it is. So we are gonna add to this our cup of sugar, which is now 2 cups of sugar. All right, 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of butter, and we're gonna cream that together well. Now, while that's creaming, I'm gonna go over here and I am going to talk about sourdough starter. Now, this sourdough starter actually survived my away. I forgot to tell my husband to feed it while I was gone. I mean, it was in the refrigerator, but I forgot to tell him to feed it. So when I got home, there was a nice liquid on the top and it was screaming for help. So I drained that liquid off, I refreshed it for a couple days, and boom, my sourdough starter is back. So let that be a lesson to you guys that you cannot kill the sourdough starter unless you really, really try. So we're gonna need about a cup of sourdough starter, and this is unfed. So I'm gonna use a cup of this unfed starter. And feeding it just means I fed it and then it's risen. This is unfed. And then I'll feed it after this live. And then I'll feed it after this video. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my unfed sourdough. The other thing I wanted to mention is when I first started on my sourdough adventure, I did not really understand why you would want to discard any sourdough starter at all. I mean, like, it didn't make any sense whatsoever to me. But now that I'm about 3 or 4 months into this adventure, I know now why. Because you want to feed every bit of those yeast that are in there, and if you keep just adding to it and adding to it, it gets to be this massive thing, and it's very unwieldy, and so you discard it so that you can constantly be refreshing that yeast and making it stronger and making it more sour. So finding recipes that use your discard starter are ideal, and this is one of them. I'm actually super excited about this one because I end up like splitting my starter instead and then feeding both of them, and then I have to make like 10 things of bread by the end of the week. It's ridiculous. So I'm really excited about this recipe. And I have made it, like I mentioned, I made it right before I left for my road trip. All right, next we are gonna add our eggs one at a time and our vanilla. So I'm gonna add 4 eggs. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop this for a moment and just scrape down the sides just so that I make sure that everything gets in there. You're also going to want to preheat your oven at 350, but because I'm gonna use my top small oven, I'm not gonna preheat it yet because I don't wanna get all hot and sweaty before I have to. Because it's warm here in Northern California and I'm standing in front of the oven. Yeah. And we are gonna add 2 teaspoons of vanilla. We're just gonna let that combine and mix and marry each other and become one. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and scrape down my beaters again and my bowl, make sure it's nice and, nice and combined. All right, so now we are going to add our flour, our baking soda, our baking powder, and our salt. I've gone ahead and mixed it all together because I wanted to save some time and because I talk and I don't, anyway. Okay, so let's just add this slowly. And you don't want to overmix this. We just want to bring it right together. We are also going to add 1/3 of our cream cheese. Sorry, 1/3 of our sour cream. And 1/3 of our sourdough. All right. All right, and then we're just gonna keep doing that, 1/3 and 1/3 until it's mixed. And we're just gonna mix it until it's just combined. All right, that looks fantastic. All right, so let's take this down here. Ooh, I got flour all over I didn't notice. I'll just tap it off, no big deal. All right, so I'm just gonna go ahead and make sure that that flour is all nice and incorporated. And we're nearly almost done. We're nearly done. And this already tastes amazing. If you are a batter eater, and I am, I eat over easy eggs. You can eat raw batter, whatever. Never made me very sick. Maybe one time I got sick, but I don't know if it was from batter or if it was from just bad food. What a mess maker. I'm out of touch, y'all. I'm making a, that's a joke. I always make a mess. I just feel like more messy. All right, let's go on to the streusel. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and move this, and I'm going to get my food processor. All right, now into this food processor, we are going to put 1/2 cup of butter, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/2 cup of regular flour, and 3 tablespoons, no, I'm sorry, 1 tablespoon, 3 teaspoons of cinnamon. And I am just cutting the butter up roughly just to make it easier on, and this butter needs to be cold, 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 cold. And it's very important that it's cold because we're gonna make, do you know how some people say to cut your flour and your sugar into the butter and use a fork or a pastry cutter? This thing, if you do it quick and you do it correctly, it does it for you. I found this trick out a couple years ago and I will not do it any differently. All right, so let's turn it on and we're just going to make it into that fine streusel, kind of like grated Parmesan. Any further and you're gonna start to get lumps. So we're just gonna pulse it until I don't see any butter left over. Almost there. Okay, that's perfect. All right, let's move that out of the way and we'll bring in our pan. All right, and as you can see, I have gone ahead and lightly buttered it. And we are going to add to this pan using a scooper. This is the large scoop. And I'm gonna do it because it just makes it easier to portion out. And we're gonna want to do about half of the batter. And as you can see, this is a really thick batter. This is not like your normal cake batter that would pour. So I find using this to be very helpful. All right, and once you think you got about half, we are gonna take a spreader and we are just going to spread that all the way around. Perfect. All right, and now we are gonna sprinkle half of our streusel mixture right over the top. All right, and now we're just going to layer the rest of it on top. And again, we will just spread it over the top. All right, and then we are going to sprinkle the rest of the streusel. All right, into the oven it's going to go for 45 minutes. I'll see you back here. Okay, we are back, and it's been a little over 45 minutes because dinner happened. And I didn't record dinner, but I am recording dessert. So let's go ahead and check out how beautiful this is. Let's cut into it and see what we got. I already know it's good, so silly to say, let's see what we got, because I know what we got. All right. Oh, nice and crispy crust. So amazing. All right. And now I'll take my little spatula here and we will attempt to lift one out without making a royal mess. The first one's always the hardest to lift out. Ta-da! All right. Let's see if we can get one though that has. Should have probably put more. There we go. Look at that beauty. All right. I won't eat both of these pieces, but I will eat some. Just the right amount of crispy and sweet and tender. I'm speechless at how good it is. So good. Eat a whole piece just sitting right here. The top is super crispy. That's really good. That is one of the best things that you could do with sourdough starter discard. Seriously. Thank you, Francia. That was simply amazing, and it's going to be one of my family's favorite treats for a long time to come. All right, you guys, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I usually do videos several times a week, but as you know, the last week or so, I have not been around because I've been on this road trip. So this is the first stop in our road trip, and that's here in California. And yeah, this is a road trip I will definitely do again because that's delicious. All right, you guys, we'll see you later. Bye.